We lost our brother Roy, November 10th, 1995.
De mí fue el que se murió. Solo.
He did that to
hizo eso.
himself. I don't know
Yo
what
no sé
he
por qué.
did.
Muy joven de
He was
artista, yo
very
estaba muy
young.
joven. Pero
I
estaba
don't know why
casado.
he did
Pero
that.
él se hizo solo eso. No sé.
41 years old when he died. During that last year, he lost his job. He was hit with a paternity suit, and he drank more and more and more. Although he had been throughout his life in rehab, checked himself in, always voluntarily, reaching out to try to solve his problems. He would stay there the whole duration, and then he would come out, and he'd come back to the environment that unfortunately would continue to affect him. Me personally, I knew that it would eventually happen. He would call me in the middle of the night, and he would tell me, I just want you to know to tell mom and dad that I love them. Don't tell them anything until tomorrow morning. I have a gun to my head. I'm going to kill myself. I don't have anything to live for. He was sad, depressed, everything. And at 11 years old, how do you deal with that? You want to think that there is something magical about rehab or a pill or something that's going to help them. And in this case, it was just a Band-Aid. You don't know how to deal with this. Nobody ever prepared you. I mean, young, old, you're not prepared. Because the way the system is now is that you check yourself voluntarily. You can voluntarily check yourself out. There is a burden to dealing with somebody dumping on you. And he didn't just dump on me. He dumped on his brother, he dumped on his sister. Every time I left him off, I just thought that was what my role was. I don't feel like I ever had a childhood because of what was given to me to deal with. He had a lot of ups, but he had a lot of downs.
Yeah, I knew that he had suicide attempts, but I didn't think he would ever completely do it. I thought maybe if I kicked him, he would get up, but he never did. I can't think of him gone. I still want to think that he's coming back, but he's not. I don't know. I don't know how I could have helped a lot of demons, but I don't know what they were. As close as we were, I don't know what they were.
We were so tired of running, dealing with him. Nobody was running to him anymore that week. Everybody was extremely taxed out. So her and my dad, older people, they had gone to his house. And the house was open. So they walked through the house and they can't see anything and the lights are on. And as they were leaving, they saw a flicker of light. And they walked back in, and the minute my dad opened the doors, what he saw. And when I got there, the police said, can you come identify him? I said, I do not want to know my brother like that. That's not how I want to know him. I was brought up to believe that if at the moment, his last breath, that if he said, please God, forgive me, suicide would not be a mark against him. There is a picture, and unfortunately we don't have it. My brother, who's a deacon, he travels with it. And it's a black and white picture, and it's my two brothers. And that picture changed. It changed to the picture of Jesus. To me, it was my sign that God was telling me that he's okay. He's going to be okay. If I could make a difference in someone else's life, is to tell them that you are not at fault for what happened. How do you help them when you yourself aren't where they're at? You don't heal. You just manage your feelings and come to terms with the fact that you will never get an answer. They're not living. You live with their memories, but your life continues. And how you accept it is the way you're going to live your life. And I sat there and said, God, whatever you do, give me the words to tell this person. Because I couldn't imagine going through it again and not feeling like I couldn't have done something. My children will never know me. They'll never know me. They took them away from me. I said, stop and think. And it would be so sad if tonight you died and the day that they turned 18, you were not there. And she said, I can't believe you said that. She said, because I never thought of it like that. And at that moment, I just said, thank you, God. You gave me the words because I wouldn't know what to say.
Looking back, I wish that when he was younger, when he was calling me, had I had a clue that his suicide will eventually happen, that I really wasn't the person he should have been leaning on. He exhausted his calls for help.